Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to week 3 of Growing Through It with SFC and me, Corey. Thank y'all for joining me today. I am super excited about a whole lot of stuff. Today has been a phenomenal day, really a phenomenal day. We have spent the last couple of weeks talking about growing through it, sort of kind of explained what going through means, and even more in detail about growing through. So oftentimes we go through things and we try to figure out life. And hey, y'all, Layla and Candy, Catherine, I appreciate y'all. We go through things and we literally go through things all of the time, financial things, emotional things, mental things, physical things, relationship things, job, workplace things. And I really wanted to spend time talking about growing through it as opposed to just going through it. I think we highlighted over the last couple of weeks the difference between just going through something and then growing through it. Whenever you grow through something, you find the purpose in the pain, if that makes sense. And I'm talking using the word pain very loosely. Position, hurt, whatever you want to call it, you find that there is a purpose in it. And when you grow through it, as opposed to just going through it, growing through it means that you're looking to extract what has changed in you. And so often we fail to extract something positive out of a negative situation because we're in our feelings, we're in our emotions. We get angry, we get hurt, we get frustrated, we get despondent, and we do all of this stuff. And we fail to identify the purpose behind what we are going through. And in my opinion only, you cannot evolve when you don't see the meaning behind those negative times in your life. You know, too much of the sun, but now we're talking about when everything is going your way, too much of the sun is not good. You need the thunder and the rain. You need all of that in your life to grow and evolve. I read something in a book that says anything that's not growing, it's dying. It atrophies. That means it hardens and it just dies. So you have to learn how to evolve. And it's those negative, dirty situations that's full of nutrients that will allow you to grow through whatever you're going through. I was in a situation, and I'm going to be very, very transparent. I was in a situation this week, and what I shared with you guys some time ago about one of my pet peeves is not being acknowledged when I'm in restaurants or stores. I'm 6'3". I know you see me. And for you not to acknowledge my presence, it does something to me. So earlier this week, I was working out, and all I heard in my head was, I see you. I see you. I disregarded, didn't pay any attention to it at all. I totally disregarded. So 20, 30 minutes later, I heard it again. Well, this time, as I was listening to it, I sat down, took out my phone in the note section. I just started hearing or writing down what I was hearing in my head. And it was just this long message, what I believe, you can call it God, you can call it Holy Spirit. At that particular time, I felt like I was writing a message to myself, because I've learned that people see me the way I see me. And when I don't see me, people don't see me. So that's been a thing for me for a long time. And I never really paid a lot of attention to it until it hit me. And whenever I was in a store, or whenever I was somewhere that I wasn't acknowledged, it would just poke at me. And I'd immediately get an attitude, even if the person came and was really nice, like I was done. I was over it. I was ready to take my business elsewhere. But after what happened to me this week, I went out Friday night to this little spot. And I was standing there, and I literally stood there for probably like 5 minutes. And nobody said, I'll be right with you. Nobody said, I'll give me a second. As soon as I finish this customer, nobody said anything. And there were 3 people working there. And everybody just kept their head down. They would look up, but nobody ever acknowledged me. And I immediately thought about what I had heard earlier in the week about I see you. So when the girl finally looked up, she says to me, I lie to you not. She says to me, I'll get you in a second. I see you. So the moment that I saw me and realized that I can be seen was the moment that she had validated the fact that I was seen. And I feel like that I'm over that now. Because I see me, everybody sees me, and I don't have to worry about not being acknowledged. And in my opinion, that's me growing through it. I had to identify the purpose in not being seen or not being acknowledged. And once I identified the fact that I don't even see me, I wasn't even acknowledging me. The moment that I did, things changed. And that's all I'm trying to get you to see. Everything has a purpose. And the moment that you identify the purpose / lesson in what you're dealing with and what you're going through, and you begin to internalize it and not blame other people, but see how you can change you, the doors will open. And then you don't have to worry about that anymore. That's why negative situations come, so that you can grow through them. The moment that you learn the lesson, you ain't got to deal with that no more. You ain't ever got to be tested. Think about school. If you go to school and you pass the test for chapter 3 through 5 in the book, Everybody that passes that test, you ain't got to worry about taking that test for chapters 3 through 5 again because you passed. The teacher has identified the fact that you have learned the lesson, you've grown through it. For those that didn't pass, they are going to have to take that test over again. So think about it along those terms. Candy said, "Woo, this helps me so much. I have a similar situation." Thank you, Candy. I appreciate you. Catherine says, "It recently happened to me when I was with my sister at AT&T. It was about 10 minutes before someone said something to either one of us." Yeah. It's amazing when you go within yourself and realize that everything that you want to see happen outside has to happen first on the inside. So the moment that I was able to look at this little inner child, this little inner dude, Corey, that was on the inside, and acknowledge that, was the moment that I believe everybody else, I didn't have to deal with that, or at the very least, it didn't affect me or have the negative impact on me as it had in times past. So I really, really, really encourage you, don't just go through life, grow through life. Identify what you need, identify the lesson that needs to be extracted from the situation, and that way you don't have to worry about ever having to take on that test again. Thank you, Sheila, and welcome. Layla says, "My husband has the same pet peeve, whereas I don't care if they see me or not." And everybody has their own little idiosyncrasies, Layla. I'm sure there are things that agitate you or irritate you that other people do as well. So I think that the moment that it happened for me, and this week has been so crazy, y'all. This week has been so crazy. Like, I have had so much personal growth just in the last 3 or 4 days that it has blown my, like, I feel completely different person. I really feel like a completely different person. I've never felt so light and unweighted in all of my life. And it is just because I know that there have been other situations that I didn't quite understand. Like, why do I keep attracting the same kind of people in my life? Am I the problem or are they the problem? Do I look like an easy mark? Am I all this stuff? And when I realize that it's me, it's my personality type, I learned that no, I'm not a victim. Yes, I attract the same people, and there's a reason why I do. They're working something out of me. That's called evolving. That's called growing. That's called life changing, y'all. If y'all really understand how amazing it is to get, I made the comment. I made the comment today when I was sharing with a friend of mine how these little synchronicities, if you will, happened in my life, and how I believe that I have changed just in the last 72 hours, have changed so phenomenally. And I said to him, I said, I didn't know I needed to jump the hurdle because I never acknowledged that the hurdle was there. The moment that I acknowledged that the hurdle was there, I was able to jump it without any repercussions or anything. I literally was able to jump it. But I had to first acknowledge that there was even a hurdle there. And I say that to say this, reality says that we go through things and we have problems. And we try to take on every problem that we have all at one time. You've never seen a track star jump 15 hurdles at one time. Why are you trying to figure out 15 different problems all at the same time? There can be 15 hurdles, but all jump one at a time. So you need to learn how to identify the problem that you need to deal with. Go within, stop blaming other people, stop blaming situations, stop blaming things that happened to you in your past, the mess ups and the mistakes. All of that was necessary. If you have to, go back a little bit and identify those hurdles. And the moment that you do, jump them. That's called growing. That's called evolving. And you need to do that. You really, really need to do that. Thank you, Sheila. You really need to learn how to identify those hurdles that are in your life. Because if you don't ever jump those hurdles, you'll never make it around the track, y'all. You won't ever make it. You've got to jump it. And you've got to tell yourself, I can get through this. I can grow through this. If I can get this hurdle behind me, then I can get the next hurdle behind me. So you have to understand that it's all up to you. That's what I had to do. I was blaming other people. Just this week, I had a conversation with somebody, and if I could go back and take everything back that I said, if I can go back and I wasn't angry, I wasn't irrational, I just wish that I could go back, take back everything, because I was blaming them when in fact it was me. It was me. It was me. And the moment that I identified that it wasn't that I was right or wrong, it was just me. So that's what I challenge you guys to do. Stop being so hard. Take it one hurdle at a time. One hurdle at a time. And fear is the very thing that keeps telling you that you can't go through this. Fear is telling you, no, that hurdle's a little too high. You can't do it. Just stay right there. Let life pass you by. Everybody else is running by you. Everybody else is jumping hurdles. And you just stay right there because you don't need to go any further. That's a lie. That's a lie that you keep telling yourself. If you could not jump the hurdle, you would have never been on the track team in the first place. Somebody's seen stuff in you. You would have never been out there on the track. But because you are out there on the track, that means that you're on the team. And because you're on the team, you have the wherewithal to jump that hurdle. Jump that hurdle. Put it behind you. That's called growing through it. Growing through it and not just going through it. What we do, instead of jumping the hurdle, we try to knock the hurdle down because we blaming the hurdle for being too tall or for being too challenging or for being too big or too wide. We're blaming the hurdle. It ain't the hurdle. It is not the hurdle that you need to be angry at. It's you. And once you realize that you have every single thing that you need to jump any and every hurdle that shows up in your life, life opens up for you. Life opens up. You get your confidence back. You get your security back. You get your strength back. You get your knowledge and your understanding back. You get your patience back. Every time you go into a situation and you say, I'm not just going to go through this. First of all, let me identify what I am supposed to get out of this. Why am I even out here on the track in the first place? What am I supposed to learn from this? And you say, oh, okay, I'm supposed to learn how to be patient. Well, patience don't come from the outside. Patience is something that comes from the inside. So then the next thing is, how do I know if I'm going to grow in patience? You get tested. And you say, you know what? I'm going to pass this test. I'm going to jump this hurdle and I'm going to be good. And if you jump that hurdle and you're good, that ought to give you the confidence, the wherewithal, the strength to know that when the next hurdle shows up, you can jump that hurdle too. You don't keep whimpering and complaining and crying and getting depressed and getting frustrated and getting angry every time you come up against a hurdle. Think about all the hurdles that you've already jumped. Think about the hurdles that you've already overcome and say, you know what? If I overcame that, I can overcome this too. That's called growing through it. Stop having to go back to kindergarten every time you come up to a test or to a hurdle. No, I think I better go back. I need to go back to the locker room. I need to go back to the conditioning room. I need to go back. You don't have to. You already got it. You already got it. Just jump the hurdle. Look at all them other hurdles you jump. Jump this one. And stop telling yourself what you can't do. Okay? Stop telling yourself what you can't do. All right, that's enough for me. Any questions? Because I don't want to overwhelm you, but I just need you to understand that growing through it or going through it, it's all about your choice. What are you going to do? Are you going to just go through it, or are you going to grow through it? Sonia says, what if it's something that is not God's will? Without an example, it's hard to answer that question. I think that anytime something comes in your life, it comes in your life to show you what you need to see about life, your life in particular. I think because what happens in our world is by our own making, that we have to understand that either we're going to learn how to leave it alone, how to embrace it. We're going to learn how to stay away from it or walk into it. So whether it's God's will or God's won't, is something that we can extract, and it teaches us a lesson. I believe that we are sent here to learn how to appreciate life, to live life to its fullest. And the only way that you can do that is by evolving and growing through every situation and every circumstance. That's what they come for. You know, that's exactly why they show up. We have been conditioned to believe that anything that is negative is not of God. I don't believe that at all. I believe that the God in each of us allows negative circumstances to show up for the simple purpose of self-evolution. That's just my own personal belief. You don't have to accept it, but I really believe that it is all about self-evolution. We can't just have everything positive. We can't just have everything joy, joy, happy, happy. That will destroy you quicker than a negative will. A negative comes so that you can literally grow from it and evolve from it. I don't want to be the same person next week as I am today. I don't want to be the same person. And the only way that I know that I am evolving is when I am tested. And God allows test. God allows test. He does. He allows tests to happen. And they're not to destroy you. They're not to hurt you or harm you. They are to grow you. They are to grow you. There's some people in this world that have been through some horrific things. Some of them became a victim, and some of them became an overcomer. All that says to me is you get to choose how it affects you. Will you just go through it and you complain about it and you talk about it and you never get past it or get over it? Or will you grow through it and use it as a testimony of the power of God operating in your life and the strength that you have within you? That's your choice. That is your choice. Same two people can go through the same exact horrific ordeal. And one says, this is who made me who I am today. And the other one can choose and say, if it hadn't been for that, I would be farther along than where I am. All that says to me is that the choice is yours. You get to decide if you're going to merely go through something or grow through something. Okay? So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining me today. Thank y'all. I hope this was helpful. When I tell you this has been the most phenomenal week, the most phenomenal day that I've had in a very, very long time. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for joining. Don't forget to like and share this video, please. The other thing. Oh yeah, next this coming Saturday we'll be in Winston-Salem at Atkins. We have a partnership with Forsyth County, Head Start, Smart Starter Forsyth County, Smart Starter Forsyth County, and this week we have an event there at Atkins High School in Winston-Salem. If you are around that area, stick your head in the door. It's basically for educators and early educators, but there will be tons of vendors and things there that you will, I'm sure, get something from if you're able to come. Again, I appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget to like and share, because if this video blessed you, you can best believe it's going to bless somebody else. If you've got people in your life that you know are always negative or always a victim, share this video with them and remind them that they don't just have to go through, they can grow through. Talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. Evolve.